You are now tuned into Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes.
Launching paid media. Activating Facebook advertising. Engaging video views ads.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes. I'm Seth Jessica, the Emerging Media Manager at Homes for Heroes, and if you guys have been tuning in to Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes lately, you have noticed we have been publishing a series of videos that is dedicated to helping you with your Facebook advertising and getting the most out of your Facebook advertising dollars. So up until this point, we have helped you set up your Facebook business page, your Facebook Business Manager. We have even introduced you to Facebook Ads Manager and given you a tour of Facebook Ads Manager. And I know that can seem a little bit overwhelming and confusing, but believe me, it gets more familiar and comfortable the more time you spend with Facebook advertising. And then we have even introduced you to the marketing objectives that are available to you through Facebook advertising. And I've introduced you to the Facebook advertising strategy that I would recommend anybody who's just getting started with Facebook advertising use, and how to use those marketing objectives in that overall Facebook marketing strategy. And then last week, we went over how to set up the audience that you would use in your very first Facebook ad campaign. Now, in order to set up today's episode, let's take a quick step back, real quick. Take a step back 2 episodes and talk about this Facebook advertising strategy that I introduced you to and that I would recommend that you use if you're just getting started on Facebook advertising. So this Facebook advertising strategy mirrors something that looks very similar to a traditional marketing funnel. So at the top, you have your brand awareness campaigns. In the middle, you have your consideration campaigns. And at the bottom, you have your conversion focus campaigns. Now, each one of these campaigns runs separately and independently, but they all play off each other, and really they all play off each other to help reduce your CPA, or your cost per acquisition, or what you're probably more familiar with is cost per lead. It helps reduce those costs. Now, in last week's episode, I introduced you to the audience that I recommend that you set up and use to target with your very first campaign in those brand awareness campaigns. And in today's episode, I'm going to introduce you and help you set up the ad that you'll use in that ad campaign to target the audience that we helped you create last week. Now, in today's episode, I will be introducing you to the text that I use, meaning the messaging, the headline, the primary text, and the description for your ad. I'm going to show you how I create that. And then I'm going to show you the videos and the images that I use, and I'm going to quickly introduce you to some of the tools that I use to create those images or videos. And I'm going to also open up Facebook Ads Manager so you can see the ad that I'm creating and give you context into what we're doing. However, what I recommend for you is not to create your ad in Facebook Ads Manager just yet. Don't do that for this episode. Wait till next episode. In next episode, we'll actually go through the process of setting up your Facebook ad campaign, and we will, part of that process will be creating your Facebook ad within Facebook Ads Manager. But don't do that on this episode. Don't do it just yet. What I recommend that you do for this episode is open a text document on your computer. And on that text document, I suggest that you include the messaging that we're going to create for your ad, meaning on that text document, include the primary text that we create today, the headline, and the description. And store that on that text document, save it to your computer, and that way when we actually go through the process of placing your very first ad campaign next week, you already have all the messaging housed within that document, and you can just do a copy and paste. It makes that process really simple. So this is not a process that I'm suggesting that you do just for this tutorial. This is the actual process that I use every time I place a Facebook ad campaign. I house all my messaging on a text document, and I store all the videos and images that I use in my ads in a folder. That way, when it comes time to placing my ad campaign, the process is really simple, really smooth, and I don't have to think about what I'm creating. It's already right there for me. So really, this is a practice that I recommend that you get in the habit of doing. So that's what we're going to go through today. So now that we have today's episode all set up and we're ready to go, let's start creating your very first ad for your very first ad campaign. So let's kick this off by introducing you to the ads that I use in my brand awareness campaigns and what I'm trying to accomplish with these advertisements and the different elements that go into these advertisements to help me accomplish its intended goals. So these are the advertisements that I use in my brand awareness campaigns. And if you are a Homes for Heroes real estate or mortgage specialist, just know that these videos and images along with the text that we use in these advertisements are available to you in your affiliate toolbox, so you don't need to go and recreate the wheel. These are already available to you. Now, the intended purpose of this advertisement is to really drive awareness and interest among an audience that does not know your business exists. Now, if you get signups from these advertisements, that's great. That's an added bonus. But really, the intended goal of these advertisements is really to create awareness and interest in your business. And now there are 4 elements that go into helping you accomplish this. There is the creative that goes into your advertisement, which is another word for the the image or the video that you use in your advertisement. And then you have 3 different locations for messaging. You have the primary text, which is located directly above the video or the image in your ad. Then you have the headline, which is located directly below the video or the image in the ad. And then you have the description, which is located directly below the headline. Now, when I go to create my Facebook ad, the very first thing that I do is think about, what do I want to tell my audience with this ad? What do I want them to know? I don't do that by leading off with trying to find an image or a video that says that. Really, I think about the message that I want my audience to know. I think about it as if my audience was standing directly in front of me and I had 5 seconds to say one thing, and that one thing is the one thing that I wanted them to know about my business when they walk away, that's what I put in this advertisement. And where I put that is in the primary text. So always start with the primary text on your ad and think about, what is the one thing that you want your audience to know. Another way that I look at this is the using the unique value proposition for your brand. So if your company, your brand has a unique value proposition, this is a great place to put it, right in the primary text of your advertisement. Now, if you're unfamiliar with a unique value proposition, a great example of a unique value proposition is BMW. Their unique value proposition is the ultimate driving machine. Now, I'm not endorsing BMW. I'm not necessarily a big fan of BMW, but I am a big fan of their unique value proposition because it is so simple. It is a statement that is going to resonate with car enthusiasts. It does nothing to talk about pricing, benefits, or features. It is simply a statement that BMW stands for that they believe will resonate with car enthusiasts. And this is a great way to look at your unique value proposition. So if you don't have one for your brand or your business, now is a great time to create one and put that in the primary text of your advertisement. Now, there's a few things that I want you to consider when you're creating a primary text for your advertisement. You are able to put several sentences, even paragraphs. So you can use, I don't even know if there's a limitation in characters. You can use as many characters as you want. However, I do not recommend that you do this. I recommend that you limit the characters that you use to 125 characters. Reason being is, first of all, you have probably about 5 seconds to catch the attention of your audience. And if they have to read through multiple paragraphs to figure out what you're trying to say, you probably are going to lose them, and they're probably going to lose interest in your business. So it's a turnoff. For most people, that's a turnoff when advertisers do that. Second of all, any more characters than 125 characters is going to create a see more click-through for the primary text. Your audience is actually going to need to click on a see more and on your advertisement in order to see all the text that you're including in the primary text. And for me, if anybody clicks on my ad, I want to make sure that they click on the call to action that takes them to the website or a landing page that I'm directing them to. I don't want them to click on anything that forces them to read more. So keep the amount of characters to 125 or less. The second thing that you want to consider is don't consider anything that could be considered predatory practices. Now, this is just a common good business practice, but Facebook will also, they'll disapprove your ads if they see that you're using verbiage that could be considered predatory practices. Now, let me just give you an example, and this is going to be different for every business, but if you're a mortgage lender and you use text, get approved on your home loan today, that's considered overpromising. Not everybody can be guaranteed that they'll be approved on a home loan. And Facebook will say, well, is this really overpromising and maybe just getting people to clickbait and get them into the website even though they might not necessarily be approved? Facebook can look at that as, overpromising or predatory practices to get people to sign up on your website, and Facebook frowns upon that. So just be careful with that, the verbiage that you use. The other thing that you want to do is make sure that you're not exposing your targeting with the text that you use. Now, this can be a little bit confusing, but I'm going to give you a real quick example to help explain it. If, for example, you are targeting home buyers, you could expose that, or you could show people that you are exposing that with the text that you're using in your primary text. An example of that would be providing other home buyers like you extraordinary service. Now, the fact that you're saying other home buyers like you is basically telling your audience that, hey, I'm targeting home buyers like you. And that can feel a little bit creepy to people who are on Facebook. And Facebook doesn't really like to endorse or encourage that creepiness. So just remove any verbiage that could say other people like you, or providing firefighters like you extraordinary savings. Facebook doesn't like that. So when you expose your targeting through the text that you're using in your advertisement, that can seem a little bit creepy, and Facebook does not endorse that or encourage that, and oftentimes they will disapprove your advertisement because of that. So keep that in mind. Just stick to a very simple, powerful, unique value proposition statement, and tell your audience the one thing that you would want them to know if you had 5 seconds and they were directly in front of you. So for my ad, I just created extraordinary savings for firefighters, law enforcement, military, healthcare, EMS, and teachers on a home. That is what we do at Homes for Heroes. That is the value that we provide. Now, I'm not talking about everything that we do as a company because there's so much more that goes into that, but if there was a firefighter or a teacher standing directly in front of me and they want to know what Homes for Heroes does and the value that we provide as a company and our affiliates provide, that is what I want them to know. Hey, we provide savings to you on a home, whether you buy, sell, or refinance, and it's as simple as that. So that's how you create the primary text for your Facebook ad. All right, so now let's break down the headline and the description on your ad. So what's important to remember about the headline and the description on your ad is it's only available if you use a link to drive your audience to a landing page on your website, or just your website in general. Now, if you are going to be using lead form campaigns for your Facebook advertising, you can still consider, and actually I would highly recommend and encourage you to consider driving traffic to a website if you have the ability to do so, even if you don't have the Facebook pixel set up on your website. Now, I know in past episodes I said it provides you no benefit to drive traffic to your website if you don't have the Facebook pixel installed, because Facebook really is able to optimize and improve your campaign's performance based off the Facebook pixel. It takes the information and from the traffic that's going to your website, and it can improve the performance of your Facebook advertisement based on its learnings. Now, in this particular campaign, we are optimizing this campaign strictly off video views. So any traffic that goes to your website is just an added bonus. And really, it's going to provide you the ability to use a call to action, which we will set up when we go through the process of setting up your ad campaign. And it will also give the ability to include a headline and a description to your ad. So really, if you have the ability to direct traffic to a website, it just is an added benefit. Now, if you are a Homes for Heroes real estate or mortgage specialist and you're going to be using Facebook, or you're going to be using Homes for Heroes images, videos, and messaging, I really encourage you to direct that traffic to your affiliate landing page using your unique affiliate URL. Again, if somebody signs up on the website through that URL, you're going to be assigned that hero, and it just gives the audience the opportunity to learn more about Homes for Heroes, and it's really just an added benefit to you in future campaigns, on your lead form campaigns. This is strictly going to be built off of the optimization of people who are viewing your video on Facebook. So important to keep that in mind. Include a link if you have the ability to do it, even if you don't have the Facebook pixel installed. Simple as that. Now let's talk a little bit about the headline. So when you create a headline, as I said, Facebook will provide you a call to action. And what I suggest using for the call to action on this ad campaign is a learn more call to action. And again, we'll set this up when we create your Facebook ad campaign next week. But that headline that you use should complement that call to action, but it should also complement the primary text in your advertisement. Now the headline, you're allotted, I should say you're allotted much more than 25 characters, but you should limit the amount of characters to 25 characters or less. That way you're going to make sure that your entire headline shows up, especially on mobile devices. And the majority of the audience that sees your Facebook advertisement is going to be on mobile devices. So limit your headline to 25 characters or less. And really, it should be something that complements the call to action and the primary text. And what I use on my Facebook advertisement is Get Your Hero Rewards. And it's very simple, pretty straightforward. Get Your Hero Rewards. Click on the Learn More button to learn more about how you can get your hero rewards. Next is the description on your ad. Now, this description is very similar to the headline, is in that it should really complement the headline, and it should complement the call to action, and it should also complement your primary text. Just use it as a way to further expand upon your headline, and you should limit that description to 30 characters or less. That way you can make sure that the entire message renders on mobile devices. So the one that I use for my ad is see how much you can save. Really simple statement. It doesn't really tell a whole lot, but what it does is it piques their interest, right? It re-encourages the Get Your Hero Rewards, see how much you can save, click here to learn more, as well as it complements the fact that what we do at Homes for Heroes is provide extraordinary savings to heroes when they buy, sell, or refinance a home. See how much you can save. And they can click on the Learn More button to find out. So that is the headline and the description in a nutshell. Keep that headline to 25 characters or less, and keep the description to 30 characters or less. Make sure both complement the call to action as well as the primary text. And again, this is only available to you if you include a link to a website. So if you have the ability to do it, make sure that you include a link to a website, even if you don't have the Facebook pixel installed. It's just all an added benefit. All right, lastly, let's go over your ad creative. Now, what exactly is ad creative? Ad creative is not just a fancy word for the images or videos that you use in your Facebook advertising campaign. Actually, creative is the images or videos that you use in your ad, but it includes the branding or the text overlay or the graphics that you include with these images or videos. So it's really more than just the image and the video. So let's first talk about the video. So the video, there's certain dimensions I recommend that you use. Now, you're certainly not required to use these dimensions, but I recommend that your video be 1080 by 1080 pixels. And I do that for one specific reason, is I want my ad to take up as much real estate as possible. So if somebody's scrolling through their timeline and they're going through and they're scrolling through a video, and actually an image for that matter, an image or a video that's 1080 by 1080 pixels is going to take up the most real estate that Facebook, Instagram, and its other placements throughout its advertising networks will allow you to use. And that's going to stand out and pop to your audience. Right now, you could use a 1200 by 628 dimension video or image. Facebook will certainly accept that, but it's not necessarily going to stand out and take up as much real estate. So 1080 by 1080 pixels, the only rationale behind that is that I want to take up as much real estate on somebody's timeline as I can with my ad. Now, with a video, I recommend that the length of that video be 15 seconds or less. Now, the only reason, I shouldn't say the only reason, but the primary reason that I make sure that the video is 15 seconds or less is that Facebook has the ability to place your advertisement throughout its advertisement network. And that includes Facebook Stories, Instagram Stories. There's several different placements where Facebook can put your advertisement. And these placements, some particular placements require that the video be 15 seconds or less. So I create my ad 15 seconds or less to make sure that Facebook has the ability to place it throughout its advertisement network. I want Facebook to put my ad everywhere. And then I want Facebook to learn where my ad is performing best and then start showing my ad in those placements. So if there is a particular placement in its advertising network where the video length is limited to 15 seconds or less, I want to make sure my ad has the ability to be placed in that placement. So 15 seconds or less, I highly recommend it. Plus, there's nothing really that you need to say beyond 15 seconds or less. Everything that you need to say in your advertisement, especially in this campaign, can be communicated in 15 seconds or less, especially when you have primary text and headline and description text that can all complement that video. Now let's talk a little bit about tools that you can use to create your advertisement. Now, if you're not into video production and you're not good with video editing and you don't really have the time, there is a service and it's called Promo, and I'm not endorsed or I have nothing to gain financially by recommending any of these services. They're just services out there that I want to make sure that you're aware of so you can use videos in your ads. There's a service called Promo, and it is specifically for businesses that want to use videos in their marketing. They have a selection of video assets that you can choose from, and then you can create videos with text overlay and branding that you can include in, and you can download it and then upload it into your Facebook ads. So that service is available to you. If you're looking to get into a little bit of video editing and you have videos that you can use, Premiere Rush is a free Adobe product. It's free up until you use 3 gigabytes of storage, but it's a video editing platform for your mobile device. And you can upload videos, you can add text to them, you can add branding to them, and then you can download those videos and then upload them to Facebook and use these videos in your advertisements. So I just want to make sure that even if you've never created a video before or you don't know how to create videos for your Facebook advertisements, there are services out there that's available to you. And I'll provide a link to them in the description below this video. So just know that these options are available to you and there are ways for you to create creative. Now, if you're a Homes for Heroes real estate or mortgage lending specialist, just know that the advertisements that we're going to go over in these tutorials are available to you in your affiliate toolbox. So you don't need to recreate the wheel. You can simply go download these videos, images, upload them to your Facebook advertisement, and it's as easy as that. They're the same ads that I use. They're successful. So just know we've made it really simple and easy for you to use. Now that you have this concept of everything that goes into your advertisement creative, here's a few things that you want to remember if you're creating advertisement creative from scratch. First, you want to make sure that the video and the image that you use, it complements the primary text. It is a visual depiction of that primary text. You want to make sure that it makes complete sense. So everything that you say in your primary text is complemented by the video and the image that you use. Next thing that you want to consider is using videos and images that stand out, especially high quality. Make sure that they're high resolution videos, high resolution images. If you have bright colors that you can include, that will help pop. The reason being is people are scrolling through their timeline and they come across their ad. Images and videos that stand out and pop are going to stop their scroll. And that's what you want to do. You want to stop the scroll and force them to pay attention. And if that advertisement is relevant to you or to them, they're going to actually take the time to consume your advertisement. So make sure that your ad creative stands out. Finally, Facebook enforces a 20% rule with the text overlay on your images and videos. So essentially what that means is that you want to limit the amount of text that you use in your image and videos to less than 20% of that canvas. And that includes any signs or words that are included in the image, as well as the text overlay that you include on top of the videos or the images in your ad creative. If you include more than, or if the text covers more than 20% of your creative, Facebook will either show it to less people or they might even disapprove it. So make sure that you're limiting the amount of text that you use in your Facebook advertisement. And that's essentially what goes into the creative for my Facebook ads. So there you are. That is everything that goes into creating an ad for your very first Facebook ad campaign. Now I know that there's a lot that goes into this step. Trust me, I get it. It can seem like there's a lot of strategy and a lot of science that goes into creating an ad on Facebook. And to be honest, there is a lot that goes into it. There is a lot of strategy. There is a lot of science. And the only reason why I've been able to become so proficient at it is because I've been doing it for several years. I've had a great team at Facebook that I've been able to work with and learn from, including their marketing science team, their creative team, and really amazing account managers. And they've really helped me understand this step and understand what it takes to improve the performance of my ads on Facebook. And that's the expertise and the knowledge that I wanted to share with you guys today. And that's what we did. So I really hope that you guys found value in this. And trust me, the more that you do this, the more familiar it becomes, and the more clear the strategy and the science becomes, and you will become just as proficient as I am in creating ads for your Facebook ad campaign. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in to our next episode of Digital Dive, when everything that we've been doing to this day it's going to come to fruition. Trust me, guys, everything that you've been waiting for is going to come to fruition on our very next episode when we create your very first Facebook ad campaign. So you don't want to miss that, so make sure that you tune in. And as I do about this time, every time, I'm going to throw out a shameless plug. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you give it a like and make sure that you subscribe to the Homes for Heroes YouTube channel, as well as hit the notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time we publish a new episode of Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes, or Real Talk with Homes for Heroes, or 2-Minute Tip Tuesday. That's not with Homes for Heroes. That's just 2-Minute Tip Tuesday. Anyways, you'll get notified whenever we publish a new episode of that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. See you guys.